today's guest speaker, Preeti Saini. So, Rotarian Preeti Saini, she is the Director Public Relations and Image, RC Jamshedpur Midtown, 2023 to 24. District Chair Mental Health, 2023 to 24. District Co-Chair Basic Education and Literacy, 23 to 24. District 3250. So she is from District 3250. Director Public Relations and Image Coordinator, Women in Rotary International India Group Literacy. Also the Coordinator Women Empowerment Group, Women in Rotary International Fellowship Group. So basically she is a consultant psychologist, doctorate researcher, counselor, motivational speaker, author, and social activist. She also practices spiritual healing, including medical clairvoyance. She is a postgraduate in psychology from Bengaluru University and is currently pursuing her doctoral program with her research area being feminism, pseudo-feminism, gender bias, and gender equality. She is a panel psychologist at Pathamal Psychotherapy Research Foundation, Tamil Nadu. She is a visiting consultant psychologist in Medline Hospital, Jamshedpur. She is also a counselor and therapist in YOBOH Man Vijay. I'm sorry, I do not know the,
That's
I
okay.
just know the acronym. Her areas of work include holistic well being, including physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual aspects, learning disabilities and behavioral disorders in children, parenting, teachers training, relationship issues, career counseling, depression, anxiety, etc. She has authored 4 books. She actively writes on social issues, building resiliency, spirituality, love, and relationships. She has been actively engaged in various mental health, literacy, and women empowerment projects and has conducted several international and national.
I think you got muted, Felicia.
Okay. Do I need to start from the beginning or in between it got
No,
just.
no,
No, no. I think we can stop there. I actually wanted to cut short that it's too long, so we'll just cut it short there.
Okay, we welcome you, ma'am. Do you want me to begin again? I do not
No,
know
no,
why it
no,
got
not at all.
muted.
No,
It's
no.
okay. It's okay. It's okay. Yeah, I think Preeti can start. But thank you very much, Felicia. That was a short and sweet intro, and I'm sure Preeti is doing much more than what she has shared with us. Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah. Hello, everyone, and good morning, good evening. First of all, I would like to thank Rotarian Gitanjali for inviting me here today, and Rotarian Felicia for introducing me. Today, we are going to discuss about emotion regulation. Emotions are something that are a part of our daily lives, of who we are, and it is not an alien concept to us. But what we all don't realize is that emotions impact our lives in great ways. And today, that is what we are going to discuss, how they impact our lives, why it is important to regulate our emotions, and how we can do it. If time permits, I would like to do a few activities with you all. Yes, online we can do a few activities, and try to keep it interactive. Um, Due to shortage of time, it might not be too interactive, but still, I would like to try to keep it little interactive. So, if I ask you all to type something, maybe in yes or no, please quickly just type yes or no in your in chat box. First of all, can anyone just tell me what are the few? Maybe you can just type the few emotions that you all know. Name of few emotions that like anger, sadness. So if you all can just type a few emotions. And if anyone would like to say what emotion is, you all can unmute yourself if someone wants to say what emotion is. Yeah, irritation, anger, happy, sadness. So there are so many emotions that you all are typing: disgust, fear, sadness. We have jealousy also. Yes, we do have all these emotions. And anyone who would like to explain what, maybe in just a couple of words, say what emotion means to you? Anyone? No? Okay. Emotions is something that is, you know, it is a mental reaction. We react. Those are the feelings that we get, and then we react to it mentally. So those are our emotions, and you have named a few. So these emotions in a situation, whenever we have strong emotions, like normally we do have emotions, we feel happy. For example, now you might be having certain emotions, but there are situations wherein the emotions go out of hand, and we feel strong emotions. In those situations, we have two options how to deal with it. And Gitanjali, can we have the next slide?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So I was saying we
This,
have no, the next one. We can just skip this.
okay.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
normally, when it comes to our emotions, there are situations that wherein we feel very, very strong emotions and we don't know how to deal with it. The situation can be so overwhelming that we stop thinking properly. We are not able to decide what to do. So in this situation, such kind of situations, we always have two options: either to follow proper methods of regulating our emotions and then reacting to the situation, or we just flow with the emotions and take certain decisions. We become judgmental, and basically we use faulty methods to deal with the situation. So if you can see here, you all can enlarge your screen and you can see that here are two options to react in a distress situation. So the first option is where we become judgmental. So when we become judgmental about anyone, what we do is, for example, I'll give you an example. Maybe uh, you are working in your office and your boss today shouts at you for something, and the boss shouts at you in front of others. So you will feel frustrated, you will feel insulted, you will feel angry. Anyone will feel all these emotions. There can be so many other emotions that a person feels. And what will be the thoughts that will follow? Okay, my boss doesn't like me. He or she is always, compares me with others. Whatever I do, he has problem. And maybe you'll say that I leave this organization or all those things, but then it is like really anyone would talk back to the boss, be rude with the boss, right? It is like we'll not say anything to the boss and we'll keep it to ourselves, and then we might take it on our other colleagues. Either we'll get angry with them even for small things, or we'll just keep it inside us and we'll not talk with anyone. And maybe now you go home, and if you are a man, maybe your wife gives you a cup of tea when you go home, and you have a sip, and maybe the sugar is little less. What will you do? You are already very frustrated, angry over what happened today, and now you take it on your wife. Okay, so you shout at her. Maybe you say that, what is this? You don't even know how to cook food. You can't even make simple tea. Everyone is right about you. You don't know how to do your things right. So you may say so many other things. And at that time, maybe your child is also there and is listening to you. So when you shout at your wife, or if any other spouse, you can shout at your wife, and if the wife was working in the office, she can shout at her husband for whatever reason. So when you're shouting at your wife, She might think that I'm the person, I left everything for this one man, for this one person, and now he is shouting at me for just a small thing. So, what will she feel? She will feel unworthy, unloved, not accepted at all. She might feel that anger and frustration that you have been feeling the whole day. Now, what will she do? Either she will fight back with you, she will have an argument, or she will again become silent. Those are the ways people usually react to. So either she will, if she argues, you're going to have a fight and the child is going to watch that. Or if she becomes silent, maybe then later on she might take it on the next day on someone else, maybe her maid, or she might take it out on the child, the same way as you took out the boss anger on your wife. Maybe your wife now takes it out on the child, right? So this is a cycle, it starts. And now tomorrow, now the other day in the morning, now if you have to go to the office, before going to the office, maybe again you are having an argument with your wife, and now you're going to the office where you are already distressed, and you are not able to concentrate on your work. On the other hand, there was the child who was watching the parents, and now the child may be the same day in the night when you came back home and shouted at your wife. So maybe the child was, got a prize in the school and he wanted to show it to you, share his happiness with you, but you were so angry that when the child came to you, you shouted at him. Or maybe the child saw that my dad is angry, he is already shouting at my mom. He just keeps quiet and doesn't say anything to you. And then when she goes to the mother, he goes to the mother that mom, won a prize or something. The mom is also angry and she shouts at him. You know, maybe whatever help he asked for, she shouts at him again that you don't know how to do your work. You always come to me. I'm not interested in what you want to show and all those things. What will that child feel? For that child, that one thing, small thing, was very important. That I won something, and the child again feels unworthy. Why? Because the parents didn't notice his happiness, the parents didn't pay attention to what he or she has won. The child will feel unloved, insecure, unwanted. Now maybe the next day, now the child goes to the school, and either he becomes silent and doesn't speak too much, doesn't interact too much with the kids. Maybe he behaves in a very irritated manner, or maybe he becomes little aggressive because the child doesn't know how and where to show his emotions. And what will the other kids say? The other kids will say either that this child has become very arrogant just because he won a prize, so now he is showing ego. That is what the other kids will say. And if he fights, uh, the teacher might again complain that your child has become very aggressive and is fighting with other students. So you see that in the beginning, the issue was that there was a problem with the boss, an argument with the boss. The boss shouted at the husband, the man. But when he went home, he took it out on the wife. So at that moment, in normal situation, if the sugar in the tea is little less, the husband won't say anything and will drink it, or maybe just ask her to put little sugar. But that day he was frustrated, so he took it out on her. But was the real problem that there was less sugar in the tea? No, the problem was not that there was less sugar in the tea. The problem was that he was already frustrated. He was already angry and he didn't know what to do with that. When the mother shouted at the child, was the problem was that the child is irritating the mother, disturbing her, asking her to listen to him? No. The problem was not that the child is asking for attention. The problem was that even after giving everything to this family, to one person, to a husband, he is still shouting for some small thing, which he didn't understand why. So this one small thing made all the difference. It becomes a cycle. If these things happen regularly, it becomes a cycle and it affects our relationships. It gives birth to both mental and physical disorders. We become irritated. We go into depression. We just start thinking too much. Too much. It gives birth to anxiety, stress. and so many other things. Our self-esteem goes low. There are so many emotional disorders, imbalances that a child will also go through. It will impact the life of the child, but all these started because of one thing, that the boss shouted at the man. The main problem was that. So when that man shouted at his wife in the house for less sugar, did that solve his problem? When he shouted at his wife, did shouting at his wife solve his problem with the boss? No. The main problem was intact. No solution to it. In fact, it gave rise to another problem. So when the mother shouted at the child, did that solve her problem? No. Or when she ignored the child, did that solve her problem with her husband? No. But in fact, it gave rise to other issues. Yeah. So that gave rise to other issues. So when we have such situation, we have to first think that what the main problem was and what we can do to solve that problem instead of taking it out in different ways. That is what we are going to see today, how we can do it. So if you can see, there are two choices. The first one was being judgmental. So if a person becomes judgmental, this is how mostly the sequence of events will take place. But on the other hand, if we follow the other option, that is mindfulness, that is we become aware, that is we use emotional regulation skills and we become mindful of what we are feeling, how we are feeling. On the other hand, if the husband would have felt in the office itself that, okay, my boss has shouted at me and I'm feeling very frustrated, insulted, and all those things, that person would have, if that person would have used emotional regulation skills, would have been mindful of how and what he is feeling, he would have accepted his feelings, accepted his emotions, and controlled them, and would have thought, okay, why did my boss shout at me? Why did he shout? Was there a mistake on my part? Did I not do my work properly? Or was there any confusion? Maybe he got some wrong information and he misunderstood the whole thing. So why that happened? Instead of being judgmental that my boss is partial, maybe that person would have thought another way to why that happened and what can I do to improve the situation. There's so many ways in through which that could have been worked out. And maybe when he went home, instead of shouting at the wife, he would have thought, okay, yes, there's less sugar, and I'm feeling more irritated just because of one thing, but I'm already irritated of what because of what happened in the office. So having less sugar is not the problem. That is not a reason for me to shout at my wife. If he would have been mindful, he would have thought in different ways, and he would have accepted the situation, accepted his feelings, and would have thought with clarity and would have taken right decisions on how to solve the main problem instead of creating new problems. He would have worked on the problem the next day when the boss was in a better mood, would have discussed with him and would have told him, okay, this is what happened. Maybe this was a mistake from my part, or maybe this is the confusion that happened. I did the work properly, but maybe you got wrong information, whatever. He would have clarified the whole thing. He would have worked on that particular problem instead of creating new problems. So this is the importance of regulating our emotions. Can we have the next slide, please? Because when we regulate our emotions, it helps us in having better relationships. It helps us in improving our next it helps us in improving our relationships, uh, having better physical and mental health. We become more aware of ourselves, our strengths and weaknesses, and how to move forward in life. Our decision making skills improve, communications improve, and we have better emotional intelligence also. So I'm not going to go into the details of this, but we'll move forward. So let's have the next slide, please. Can you all tell me, and can you all see that there are a few things that is there on the screen? How many of you use any, at least even one or two of these things to deal with problems in your life, or you showcase these things in your life a lot of times? If you do, please type yes. If you don't use any of these methods, then just type no quickly in the chat box. Yeah, I'm getting yes, yes, two yes. What about the others? Yes, yes, yes. Okay, yeah. Okay. So, these are actually emotional, these are signs of emotional dysregulation. So if you are having very intense emotions, if you show impulsive behavior, you don't you have lack of emotional awareness, you think that you don't make proper decisions, you get very irritated easily, you avoid emotional situations, it means that you are not using the right methods to regulate your emotions. And you know why these things happen? Because it is emotional regulation and dysregulation, it is a process. And how we learn it? We learn it, maybe I as an adult. So in the example that I showed you, the child saw these things, the methods that his or her parents used to deal with their emotions. So when we as kids see these things, we learn, because kids don't actually listen to what we say. Most of the time they watch, observe, and see what is happening, and accordingly they behave. They inculcate those things. So, as kids, maybe we saw our adults, elders behave in such a way. We saw them deal with their emotions in those ways. So, we took in. And the way they manage their emotions, it impacted our lives too. Now, can we have the next slide? And then when we did that, when we saw that, we became a part of it, and those methods became a part of us. Now we behave in similar ways. We become adults. We use those faulty methods that we learned, and the way those faulty methods shaped us also makes a lot of difference. And then the others, the younger ones, our children watch the same thing. The same cycle goes, and then they learn the same things. They become adults, and the same thing happens. So it is like a vicious cycle. And if you all said that yes, we are using these we are showing these emotional dysregulation signs that we just discussed, it means that you all are using faulty methods of dealing with your emotions. So it means that you learned the wrong methods, which means that your predecessor were actually not using the right method. So maybe whatever methods people were using in ages gone by, maybe it worked for them, but it is not working now. So we have to break this cycle if we want if we want us to have good life, better life full of peace and happiness and good health. We need to break this cycle, and if we want our kids and the younger generation to have a better life, again we need to break this cycle. So today we are going to discuss how we can break this cycle. And if you all want to break this cycle, just type yes, and if you don't want to break this cycle, just type no. And can we have the next slide, please? Yeah. Do you all want to break this cycle? Yes, one person said yes. What? Yes, we are having more yeses. Okay, so to break this cycle, we have we need to know what emotion regulation is. You can see on the screen that emotion regulation is how we deal with our emotions effectively by, I have written 5 steps. So we have to go through these 5 steps in a sequence. First, whenever a situation arises, we have to identify the problem, identify our own emotions, what we are feeling. So in that situation, if the man was feeling insulted, frustrated, angry, he should have first identified his emotions and accept. Most of the time we don't accept that yes, I am feeling this way. So we have to accept it's okay to feel angry or frustrated in such a situation. That this is normal, it will happen. So if I'm feeling these things, let it be, let it happen. It's okay. Accept your feelings, because until unless we accept what we are going through, until unless we accept a problem, we can never solve it. So if we have to solve a problem, the first step is always to accept it. Till the time we are in denial, we can never solve our problem. So if there is a problem, 2 plus 2 is equal to 4, is only when we understand that we have to add 2 and 2. If it is 2 plus 3, we understand that plus here means that I have to add those things. That is, I'm understanding the problem. Then I can say that 2 plus 3 is 5. But if I say that 2 plus 3 is actually I have to divide it, that is, I don't understand the problem, then I will maybe I have to multiply it. 2 plus 3, if I think that 2 plus 3 means multiplying it, that is, I'm not understanding the problem, I will end up multiplying it. So instead of writing 2 plus 3 5, I will write 2 into 3 is equal to 6. So we have to first accept the problem. We have to accept the feelings that we are having, the emotions that we are having, and we have to just let them come, but not impact us. We have to observe what is happening to us, the emotions that we are having, the feelings that we are having, the thoughts that we are having, accompanying those emotions. We'll discuss that in little detail. So after accepting that, then we have to move on to understanding it. So again, understanding, we have accepted our emotions. Now we are going to understand them. Why this happened? What can be done? Is this the right way? And then we have to manage, and then we have to respond. So we'll do this in detail. And if you can see, I have written respond at the end. Yes, we need to respond to that situation at the end always. But what we do is most of the time we respond first, and then later on we think over it, and then later on we feel bad about it. Maybe, we feel that I shouldn't have behaved in such a way. If you all can just think over a few incidents, maybe just within this week, there might be a few incidents where you have felt at that time, maybe I shouldn't have behaved in that particular way. I should have controlled myself. Why did that happen? Because in when you were in that situation, you didn't control your emotions, you didn't think with clarity, and you just responded. And then the after effects impacted your life in such a way that you realize that maybe I shouldn't have responded in that way. So response should always be the last method, the last step, and not the first thing. It is not that first you respond and then you think, oh, why did I do that? So this is how the whole situation went by. No, you have to first think, understand, manage, and then respond. Because when we are in the situation, when we are overwhelmed by our emotions, we most of the time take wrong decisions. So when I say emotions, it can be both negative and positive emotions. We take wrong decisions not only when we are angry, we take wrong decisions when we are happy also. So when you're angry, maybe you end up shouting at someone, and maybe you end up having a fight. When you are feeling very sad and lonely, then maybe you just ignore others. You are just in your room, or even if you're at work, you are not speaking with others, not responding to others properly. Maybe if you're feeling jealous, you might behave in such way that might be little competitive with the other person, right? And maybe when you're happy, you take a wrong decision. For example, maybe your child is around 17 years old and he wins something, and you're very happy that day, and you're very happy that your child has maybe secured the first place or something, or he has won something, or maybe you achieved something in your life because of which you are very happy, and your child says that, yes, dad or mom, I want a car. Maybe buying the car for the child at that age is not the right option, and maybe your pocket also doesn't allow that much. So maybe the child asked me for the car or maybe a bike, but since you were happy and you commit that, yes, I'm going to buy that for you. So that again creates another cycle, because maybe that is not the right age for that child, or maybe your pocket doesn't allow, or there could be so many other variables. But when you were happy, you were too excited, your emotions were not under your control, you said yes and you took the action. So when we are happy also, we extra happy, and if that happiness, the emotion is not under our control, again we can take wrong decisions. So in any kind of situation, response should be the last option, and everything else should come first. Next slide, please. So the first two things that I said was that we have to identify, accept our emotions, and understand. So this slide explains how to do it. So the first step, I'll not repeat everything. So first step is that you have to uh, in a given situation, just remember, for all of you, this is for all of you, remember any recent incident that happened wherein you thought that maybe I became too emotional and I could have handled the situation in a different and a better way. Just remember any that incident that happened in your life recently, and just think over it, and let's accordingly do this method. So in that situation, what you could have done was that first you have to notice your how you are feeling. You're feeling overwhelmed, there's maybe some sadness, or maybe you're very feeling irritated or angry. Whatever you are feeling, the next step is to give a name to that emotion. You have to give it a name. What is it? Is it happiness? Is it sadness? It is loneliness? Is it frustration? Is it jealousy? We name so many emotions. So what is that emotion that I'm feeling? So first you have to name notice it, and then you have to name it. After naming it, we have to accept. For example, as I said in that example, that person would have accepted that it is normal to behave, normal to feel these things in this situation. Obviously, when someone is going to insult you or is going to shout at you, you are going to feel these things. It is completely normal. You don't have to judge yourself that why, maybe when you shouted at your wife, that why I'm feeling so irritated when my when there's less sugar in the tea, why am I feeling irritated at this moment? So at that moment you could have accepted that, yes, it's okay, I have gone through a rough day. So in such a situation, it is okay to feel irritated. That is something normal. So what prompted that feeling is, this emotion is that throughout the day I have been harboring this emotion within me, that frustration within me, and now I'm feeling irritated even at small things. So even when my wife or child said something, I am feeling irritated. It is not their fault, but then this is a cumulative effect. So I have to be mindful and I have to accept that it happens and it is normal. It is going to happen because we all are normal human beings, and this is how things happen to us. There's nothing wrong in it. It is going to happen. So the next step is that now what I am feeling physically. When we have such emotions, strong emotions, you might have noticed sometimes some people say that their bodies feel very warm and hot. Some people say that their cheeks become red. For some, their hands or legs just start shaking. So you have to see what are the physical things that reactions that you are having, because that also impacts that way you a person becomes very imbalanced and then is not able to think rationally. So you have to first understand how your body is also reacting to the situation, so that first you calm it down. Once you calm it down, you will be at ease. The last step is to understanding. When it comes to understanding that, now I have to think what are the thoughts associated with it. So, if whatever situation that you all can recall in your life, just think over it, that what were the thoughts that accompanied that situation. What was it? For example, in the example that I have given, that man thought, "Ki my wife, maybe the boss is irrational and all those things, or the wife just doesn't know how to cook." That was the first things that he said, right? But then we just have to allow the thoughts to flow by, but not, we don't have to flow with the thoughts. So if the thoughts are coming, just let them come and just observe what are the thoughts that are coming, but you don't let the thoughts overpower you. We are more powerful than the thoughts we have or the emotions we have. We can control them. Don't let them control them. So let them just come and go. And we just have to notice what are the thoughts that are coming. So maybe in that situation, I can say that man should would have said, okay, so this is not the first time this has happened, and it's okay that this is a cumulative effect. The whole day I have, it has been a rough day. So now, if she is there is less sugar or whatever, or the child is coming to me, I have to see this is not their fault. This is, I'm feeling this is because of what happened in the office. This has got nothing to do with my wife or my kids or anyone else. So I am not going to take it out on them. It is not their fault. Since it is not their fault, I shouldn't misbehave with them. Because if I misbehave with them, I'm doing the same thing that my boss did to me. Maybe he also had a very rough day and he shouted at me. So I'm not going to do the same thing. So when you observe the thoughts, you think, what is the alternate? Now, since you are in control of yourself, you can take a rational decision. And when you take a rational decision, you cool yourself down and you behave properly. Then you respond. So, this is how you have to do. I hope this is clear. If in between you have any issue, you have any doubt, you can raise your hands also. But at the end, I'll be taking questions. So I'll not take much time in this slide, and I'll move on to the next slide, so that I can just show you a few tips that you can do. Because many a times people say, okay, it is easy to say that we have to control, we have to, bring our notice our emotions, control them, but then how to calm ourselves when the emotions are so strong? Until unless we calm ourselves, we cannot do it. So people say all these things are easy to say, but then practically how to do it? Practically, we can use these skills that is there on the screen, that is being mindful, cognitive appraisal, self compassion, adaptability, self awareness. Okay, mindful, I will just do an activity now to tell you how to be mindful in that given situation and how to calm yourself down. And cognitive reappraisal, again, I'm going to do an activity to tell you about it. And adaptability, self compassion, and self awareness. These are the three things that I would like to say, that we need to love ourselves. We need to accept that what we feel is just natural, and we have to when we get a free time, we have to make sure that we have our own me time. We give ourselves some personal time, wherein we think over things, what happened the whole day and how we could have done things differently. And so we need to have that personal time, and we need to understand that life is about change. So many a times when it is a change in our environment, that triggers emotional response. So we have to understand and accept that change is a part of our life. We have to accept it, and instead of getting overwhelmed by it, we have to see how we can regulate and move forward positively with that change. Okay, so now we are going to, I will do two activities for the first 2 points, that is mindful and cognitive appraisal. So can we go to the next slide, please? Okay, so this is whenever such there is an emotion that is very overwhelming, and at that moment first you have to calm yourself down. So this is what you have to do. It can be used maybe when you are having running thoughts, your thoughts are racing, you are here doing something and your mind starts wandering off, or maybe you are feeling so angry or maybe so frustrated, you are so lonely, you just don't want to talk with anyone, and at that moment you're just too irritated. So you can use this method to calm yourself, bring your awareness to your five senses so that you become calm, and maybe then you can think with more clarity. Uh, so, in this, I would like you all to unmute yourselves, everyone. Yeah, because this is something we all are going to do together. So when maybe you're having a running thought, you're doing something, but your thoughts are running somewhere else, you are thinking something else, and you have to bring yourself to the current situation, or maybe you're very angry, and now you have to calm yourself down. So then you have to do these things. So first thing is you have to first close your eyes and say that I can do it, the whole situation is under my control. So can you just repeat it? Close yourself eyes, close your eyes and say that the whole situation is under my control. I am the boss of my life. Can you just say it?
Whole
The
situation
whole
is
Whole
situation
situation is under
is
my
under
under
my
control.
my
My
I have
control.
done
control.
that.
I'm the
I am
boss of
the
my
boss
life.
of
The
my
whole
life.
situation is under my control. I am the boss of my life. Hello, hi
The
everyone.
whole
Yeah.
situation is
Hi.
under my
So now,
control.
Most
after
mentally.
doing this, the second thing that you have to do is now that look around and say any five things that you can see. If you are alone at that time, you can say it verbally, loudly. But if you are with others, then at least you just have to notice and mentally you have to say. So, five things that you can observe. Um, Anyone, maybe Felicia, would you like to see, say five things that you can see around you? Any five things?
I I see my pen stand, my study table, the holy books around me, and outside my window, few pigeons, then water bottle, my mobile phone. That's it.
So we had five to six things that she named. So same way, you all can also say or observe any five things around you. After that, the second step will be, uh, I think it's Prashant. I don't know.
Yes, good,
Yeah.
good,
Hi.
good,
So maybe
good.
can you say four things around you that you can touch?
Yes, I'm seeing the traffic here and
You
sitting in the
cannot.
car.
Okay, you are in the car, but still, can you touch four things around you? Anything
Yes,
that can
yes,
you that
yes,
you
I
can
can do
touch?
that.
Yeah.
I'm touching the my friend Kiran,
Okay.
dashboard of the car, and the
Okay.
rainbow mirror, and my
Okay.
seat, and most important, the seat belt.
Seat belt. So he named five things that he can touch. So the first thing that we have to do is five things that we can see, then four things that we can touch. Now, Sanika, can you tell me if the three things that you can hear? Three
The
things.
traffic noise, first thing.
Okay.
Uh, you, of course.
Yeah.
And one more thing. There's some furniture thing going up on my upper flat, so I don't know what it is, but I can hear it.
Okay. So three things that she can hear, she said. So first thing, five things you can see, four things you can touch, three things that you can hear. Now, Chitra, can you see two things that you can smell?
Yes, ma'am. Here, the smell of fruits and
Fruits.
smell of small onion. I'm chopping onion now, so I am getting the
Okay,
smell.
onion. So, fruits and onions. So, two things that you can smell. And now, the last thing is one thing around you that you can touch. Sorry, that you can taste. It should be something that you can taste and in your reach. It is not like something very far off that is not in your reach. So, it's something that is around you that you can taste. And think, who would like to say? Gitanjali ji, you, if you can say.
Yeah. I still have my paratha in front of it.
So she has the paratha that she can taste. So, that paratha is a good option. Maybe you can share it with all of us. In one of my workshops, someone said that, see, this is when I asked one thing you can taste, they said that, she said that, I have a laptop in front of me. I said, laptop is not something that you are going to taste. You're not going to lick it. It should be something edible that you can actually eat or drink. Okay. So, can you all now repeat after me? Um Before repeating, can I have anyone else? Maybe Aman. Aman, can you just tell me? Now you have to do the whole process at a go. That is, first you have to say five things that you can see, four things that you can touch, three things that you can hear, two things that you can smell, and one thing that you can taste. So, yeah. So Aman, right? There is someone named Aman in the
Yeah,
audience. Yeah,
yeah. Hi,
Aman, can
Preeti.
you do the whole
Yeah,
thing at a go, one after the other?
yeah. I have a extension board in front of me.
Okay.
I'm, sit-
One.
uh, I'm sitting on the bed. There's a
Okay.
cushion I can touch
Okay.
and lamp I can
So first,
touch.
you have to say five things that you can see.
See, okay. Yeah, I can see lamp,
Hmm.
extension board, charger,
Hmm.
cushion, a teddy bear, and my
Okay.
study table.
Okay. Now, four things that you can touch.
Yeah, I can touch my bed and
You all
there's so
can
many
type
things.
also. Aman is speaking, others can type also. Yeah, Aman, continue.
Yeah, my wife's sitting beside
Hmm.
me, so I can touch her.
Hmm.
And some clothes.
Okay.
Uh,
Touch the cord that you have.
yeah, extension cord is there. Yeah, I can touch that, and iron box is there.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
So, four things that you can touch. And never say the ceiling or the pillar, something that is out of your reach. So, touch is something that you can actually touch
yeah.
near
I
you,
already
around
touched
you.
all those four things.
No, I mean, this is a suggestion for everyone.
Yeah,
Whenever we are talking about touch, some people say far off things that they actually can't reach also. So, touch means something that is completely around you. Like Aman named the things that is completely around him and he can touch. So, now after that, Aman, three things that you can hear.
uh, yeah. Someone is cooking, so I can hear the whistle of the pressure cooker,
Okay.
and from the balcony I can see traffic noises. I
Hmm.
can listen traffic noises, and mm, yeah, fan sound I can
Okay.
hear.
So,
Other
and
than
now
that,
after
yeah,
that, two things.
smell.
Yeah. Two things that you can smell. So, someone is cooking. Maybe you can have that smell.
Yeah, it's quite far, but I can listen. Yeah, some yeah, room freshener is there, so I can smell a little of that.
Okay.
And yeah, and little fresh air from outside.
Okay, so two things that you can smell, and lastly, you have to say one thing that you can taste.
Uh, yeah, I have a cake nearby. I can taste that.
Okay, so these are the five things that you have to do. So all of you, maybe now I think you all saw what we have to do. You all did it practically. So when you do this, you are using activating all your five senses. That brings you back to the present moment. Did this activity actually bring you to your present moment?
Absolutely. I think that's most powerful thing which I understood is when we talk about, I'm in my control of everything, I'm responsible. Just by making the statement even mentally gives you that limited, I think, instant confidence that you are in control. So if we
Yes.
repeat that again and again, I think becomes a habit.
Yes. So
Yeah,
in the
Preeti,
beginning,
Arindam and Jonas have raised their hands. Arindam, please go ahead.
yes.
Uh,
I I think I accidentally raised my hand. I have nothing to say because I'm
Okay.
listening to the discussion very with high
uh,
attention,
Okay.
and that's it. Yeah, so
yeah.
good.
Okay. Yeah. PP Jonas,
Uh, Thank you very much.
thank you for joining.
I,
Yeah.
yes, actually, in seeing these things, the five things you can see, four
Mhm.
things you can touch, three you can hear, two smell, and one taste. Somehow, do you have to physically actually experience these things? For instance, if you say four things you can touch, you see your laptop, you touch it, you say it, laptop you touch, cord you touch, water you touch, phone you touch, table you touch. Do you have
Okay.
to experience?
If
You get my
you are
question?
alone, if you are alone, or if you don't have
Yes,
too many people around you, people you think you're like your close family members, something, if you can physically do it, it will be more impactful.
exactly. Thank you. That's what I mean. The impact. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, so impact will be more, especially when you're alone and you are thinking about something. First thing is you're trying to maybe work on your laptop, but you are thinking, your mind is wandering. You're thinking about an incident maybe that happened yesterday, and you're feeling very angry. That frustration, anger is building up within you. Okay, so you have to bring yourself back to this present moment. Plus, you have to control your anger also. So at that moment, you can touch, you can properly touch, you can taste also if there is something, so that will be more impactful. But if you are with others, people around you, then maybe you can just mentally do this exercise, but do it.
Thank you.
Right, but
That's
then
it.
there's something, if like we are overwhelmed by a situation, we can drink a glass of water if it is available, right? So that is something you can do if situation permits. There are certain things that you can do physically, the impact is going to increase. So this exercise you all can please do whenever you feel the need to do it. And first verbally try to do it personally alone. When you are verbally, do it verbally. The more you do it verbally, the more practice there will be, and then you can do it with more confidence. Even when you have people around you, you can do it mentally also. Now the next step is, can we go to the next slide? Under these stressful such situations, when you have used the method that I just we all just practiced, after that you are under your control, and then you have to ask these three questions to yourself. What is the real problem? What is it? Is it what I'm seeing in this situation, or or is it something else? Then you have to say, for example, in that situation, the real problem for that child who becomes aggressive the other day in the school, or maybe stops talking with his friends. So the actual problem was not that his friends are asking him to play, but the actual problem was that his mother maybe didn't listen to him, didn't see his price, also didn't listen to him. So what, forget about seeing his price. So uh, that time is like what my real problem is. The real problem is that I was not noticed. I was not given attention. No one shared my happiness, basically. For that child, no one shared my happiness that I have won a prize. Okay. So the next question you have to ask, that the way I am behaving, is it going to solve my problem? So if the woman in that situation, when she shouts at the child or she doesn't listen to the child, did that solve her problem? Her real problem was that her husband shouted at her for a very small, unreasonable thing. So, did that solve shouting at a child or ignoring her child? Did that solve her problem? No. So, that third question will be, what can I do to solve my problem? So, these, since we are running short of time, so I'll just, you know, say that these are the three questions that you have to ask yourself. I'll not discuss these questions in detail, and we'll move on to the next slide. Can we have the next slide? Yeah. And can you show the next slide also? And then we'll come back to this slide. You all can see that this is a table over here. So you all can make this table easily. If you want, I will send this sample to Gitanjali ji. She can share it with everyone. Maybe we can at the end make a uh, WhatsApp group if you all are ready for it, wherein I can share this, and then what you all can do is you can use this table to record your emotions. And how we are going to do is what I'm going to just explain you all with one example. Since we are running short of time, I'll not take examples from you all. I'll just give one example and I'll tell you how to use it. Coming back to the previous slide. So the questions, the questions those were written on the table in the table is what you see in your screen also at this moment. So the first column was that what was the event. So you have to write, you have to make this table, you have to maintain it, and then maybe you just remember any incident that happened today or maybe in this week where you think that the situation was different and you could have handled it differently. So you have to write first what was the event. So in first column you have to write the event, what happened. So I'll give you an example. This is a real incident. There was a man, there is a man who was traveling from Kolkata to Jamshedpur. He had to reach Jamshedpur on time. Maybe he had a, I think, some program the other day. So today at this moment he had to catch a train, and he got stuck at Havra bridge due to traffic. He was stuck there for almost 1 hour. So during that 1 hour when he got stuck, he was very angry. He was cursing the government, the traffic, and all those things. And he just took so much stress all the time, the 1 hour that he was stuck in the traffic, because he had a train and he thought that now I'm going to miss my train. So by the time finally he reached the station also, he missed it. Like the train just left, I think, in front of his eyes, or maybe 5 minutes before he reached there. He missed his train. Now, what happened is, when he missed his train, he was there in the platform. He was again getting angry, cursing, "See, I have to be there tomorrow, and I have missed the train. This is because of traffic. The people don't know how to drive their cars. The government don't have proper rules, and all those things. I missed my train." And when he was just getting angry and frustrated, someone over there just asked him what happened. He said that I just missed my train. I had to go to Jamshedpur. They said, "Oh, you have to go to Jamshedpur. We are also going. There is a train in maybe 10 or 15 minutes. So don't waste your time. Just go quickly and get a ticket. You'll get at least the normal passenger ticket or something if AC is available, well and fine, or the normal passenger ticket you will get. Just go get the ticket and you can board this train." He went immediately, ran to the ticket counter, got the ticket, and he boarded the train. So this incident he shared when he attended one of these workshops, and this person, he was from army background. He said that after understanding the whole thing, he realized that 1 hour when he was there in the traffic jam, he could have, instead of getting angry and thinking about what the government is doing, what the people are doing, they don't know how to drive, he took so much of stress at that time that obviously impacted his health negatively, both mental and physically. So during that time, if he would have thought with clarity, controlled his emotions, used the emotional regulation skills, and then thought, ki, if I'm going to miss my train, then what is the plan B? He said that I had the phone, I could easily see, check what are the next available trains, and I could have worked accordingly, maybe booked my ticket or something. He said it, I was lucky enough that I met someone and who told me that there is the next train, but I could have done that when I was there in the bridge, in the traffic jam, cursing everything, everyone, getting angry, and all those things. He said that at that time I could have thought with clarity, took the right decision, and I could have been peaceful, which I didn't do. So, this table is going to help you understand this thing. So first thing is that you have to write what was the event. So in this case, the event was that he got stuck in the traffic jam, and because of which he is going to miss his train. Second was,
Preeti, I think Prashant and Arindam again raised hand.
yes, I saw. So I will just complete this example and then I will take it, because
Oh,
after this, this is over, and then we're having the question answer sessions only.
oh, great. Yeah.
Yeah. So the next question is, what emotion did you feel in response to that event? So in this event, that person felt angry, frustrated. He felt that the government and the people are irresponsible and all those things. Helplessness was there, that he is going to miss his train for no fault on his side, because he left like 1.5 hours before the timing. So helplessness was there. So these were the emotions that he felt in response to the event. Third is, what interpretations or assumptions did you make about the event? So his assumptions and interpretations was, as I said, that the government doesn't know, is doesn't have proper rules. People don't know how to, drive properly. They don't have value of time, and all those things was what was going on in his mind. Now, after that, the question is, should the event have triggered that emotion in you? So when you are in such a situation, you have to ask yourself, should the event have triggered that emotion in you? And did the response match the facts of the event? So response means your response, whatever you are responding, is it matching with the facts of the event? So in this situation, the yes, it is okay to feel frustrated and everything when you are stuck in a traffic jam and you have a train that you are going to miss. That is fine. And the next question is, did the response match the fact of the event? So in that event, I am thinking that it's the government fault and all those things. The fact is, it is not the government's fault, or that it's not about how people are going to control the traffic, because at this moment my problem is not that people don't know how to drive. My problem is that I am going to miss my train, and I'm thinking about something else, right? So it is about how to reach that train. It is not about how people drive. That is not the issue over here, and I'm thinking and cursing about things that are not under my control. I have to be ready with plan B, right? So the fact is, yes, there is a traffic jam, but then I cannot curse all the people around there. There could be so many things because of which I'm stuck over here. Maybe there was an accident. No one does an accident purposely, right? So we have to think what the actual problem is. And we have to notice that, am I thinking about the actual problem? No, I'm not thinking about the actual problem, right? So now the last option is, what emotion do you think would have been a more appropriate response? So in this situation, the better response would have been, like that person said, that the better response would have been that he controlled himself and thought about the real problem and how to solve that real problem. So if he is going to miss his train, he can think, what are the other options available? Is there any other train available after this? Because I have to be there in Jamshedpur by tomorrow morning is the function. So it takes around 4 to 5 hours to reach Jamshedpur from Kolkata, and this is afternoon time or maybe evening time. So do I have, so maybe it is like 5 o'clock is my train. So do I have any train after that? Or maybe if not trains, what are the other options to reach Jamshedpur, because it is hardly 4 to 5 hours. So maybe I can get a cab done, or maybe there's a bus. So there are so many options that that person could have thought about and worked on it, right? So this is what you have to do, and this is how you have to fill your table. Can we have the next slide? The table slide. So that is how you have to fill your table like this. When you do it for maybe a month, it is going to become like, you will notice that there is a pattern, because mentally when we go through situations we don't realize it. But when you will pen down your incidents like this in this format, table format, you will notice that there are uh, some pattern, the pattern in way you behave with situations, you handle your situations. And you will also notice that there might be some things, some triggers, some stressors which constantly triggers those emotions in you. people do notice such sequences, such patterns. Normally, we might not realize it, but after going through the table, even for 1 month or 2 weeks, when you will do this, you will notice that there is a pattern. So that ways you can analyze and work on yourself more. And when you do this, you practice this, it becomes a habit. So next time when you are in an emotional situation, you will mentally, you have already worked it out so much with your past incidences that mentally you will be able to work out it. It is like mental maths. First you have to practice, you have to write and practice, but later on you can just do it mentally, so it will be really helpful to you. And this is something that it is not only for situations that were not in your control or that didn't turn out in a positive way that you have to use this table for. You can have two tables, one for incidents that you thought could have been better, means you didn't handle them in a better way and you could have handled in a better way, right? So that is for negative situations where you didn't handle the situations properly. And other table you can have for situations where you handled it properly, so that you can see what are the things that help you solve the problems. Maybe you don't realize it that you end up using a particular method that helps you deal with the situation. So that will be a learning for you that I can use this next time also. This helped me, right? So the more you practice, the better, and you can add extra columns to it. Maybe what is the alternate action that I could have done, or any miscellaneous thing, or learning from the incident. So it is up to you what you want to do. And this is all. I will end here because I think we are already over the time. So I'll just end it here. I'm ready to take questions, any questions you have.
Sure, I have one question. I hope
And
you can. I think so.
I'll stop sharing the
yeah, yeah, sure.
okay, okay.
Yeah,
Yes, Arina, please go ahead.
just a second. Just a second. Yeah, yeah. So I was listening to the very good presentation, very interesting presentation. So is it related to somehow the EQ, the emotional quotient? And the emotional quotient has four components. I think, as you rightly mentioned, in different way, the social awareness, self-awareness, all this kind of thing. And probably in the B school, management school, when the an organization in various classes, this subject is taught in a very methodical way to groom managers, right? So probably is your subject, this your class today is towards that direction, related to that subject. Now
See,
I'm testing the tea. I'm testing my morning tea, right? You're taking some to test.
yes, yes, sure. See, emotional quotient is what you are talking about, right? So if these are interlinked,
Uh,
completely interlinked, because if I have my emotional intelligence, right,
uh,
I will be aware of my emotions also, I'll be aware of others' emotions also.
okay.
When that happens, I can control and manage and regulate my emotions. And
Hmm.
I can understand the other person's emotions, and then I can behave rationally instead of just reacting to other person's emotions also. For example,
Hmm.
um, in that situation, if the wife would have understood that normally my husband doesn't, if she had emotional quotient, right, good emotional quotient, emotional intelligence, she knows that my husband normally doesn't behave like this. So if today he is doing this, maybe there's something.
Hmm.
So that time she could have kept her, if she had high emotional intelligence, she would have kept silent, just let him,
Right.
vent out his feelings, and then later on just spoke with him what it is. Right?
So
Uh,
all the experiment is with husbands,
It could
or
have been with
husband
the
is
wife.
doing the
Maybe the
experiment with
wife
the wife
came home.
also.
So it no no no. So it could have been with the wife. Maybe the wife had a rough day at the office. She came
Okay.
home and the husband asked, "Where is the check that I gave you
Ah,
last?" Or
okay.
maybe,
Okay.
"Where is my passport?" So
Ah,
the wife has kept it. So obviously the husband is going to ask her. But now the wife gets angry because she had a tough day. And she says that you don't know where the things are. This is your house also. Why do I have to do all the things? You have to be responsible for your things. So she can also get angry and say such things,
Very good.
right? It
Okay.
can be both the way around. It is not that it is for one gender only. It is for anyone and everyone.
I think it is for situations.
Right.
Very good.
That was just an example.
Okay, okay. So, madam, you are based out of which part of India?
I'm from Jamshedpur.
Oh, that is why you give the Kolkata and Jamshedpur example and Howrah Bridge. Okay, I realize now. I
Yeah,
can.
I gave that example because during one of my workshops, one of the attendees over there, after attending the workshop, in the end, he gave this. He shared this experience.
Okay, very good. I visited Jamshedpur several times due to official work. So good. And that the example relates to my personal experience also. Okay.
I'm glad
And
that it
Preeti,
Thanks.
does.
and others, I just want, I mean, it is so similar, this example is so similar to what I experienced, just specifically on 30th of September. I was about to board my flight to Bombay because I was planning to go to Gambia. And it takes around 4 hours for me to reach Bangalore airport from the place where I stay. Okay. But in spite of that, for that day there was so much of traffic, and my co-traveler, they were saying, they checked in and all, they were messaging, where are you, where are you? And actually, I reached the airport. The flight was yet to depart, but I was not allowed to board because they said the gate was closed.
Hmm.
Okay. So, and it is so frustrating. I'm telling them, okay, I have reached, the flight is there. You let me just check in my baggage and let me board the flight. They flatly refused. And, Air India is still in this transit stage of being a government of airline to, turn to be
Private.
a private airline. But the staff is still working like a government staff. Then I requested, okay, which is the next flight? Let me just book that next flight and go. They, like they were taking their own sweet time and all. Then I said, it's no point me getting frustrated. I just, being a travel agent, I have my own way of, booking things. I said, it's okay. Abhi paisa gaya gaya. You can't help it. So I booked. I said, I don't want to lose because, like I'm going to a country which is my first visit. I am taking my clients and I don't want to lose my patience. So I just booked immediately the next other flight and I just boarded it. So just saying how I managed my, frustration that time.
See, that time, if you would have been like angry, some people do get very angry and they fight also.
Yeah, no, because I knew it. No point fighting with the organization which is not ready to, like service their customers.
Cooperate.
And yeah,
Right.
so that is it.
So you behaved sensibly, you controlled and managed your emotions that time.
Yeah, thanks to, I think, my training as a clinical psychologist for 5 years, I think that helps in such situations.
Yes, it helps a lot.
Yeah. Yes, Prashant.
Yeah. No, I just wanted to comment on the previous speaker about the gate closed and not allowed to board. That's a procedure. Talking about understanding other point of view and other emotions also plays a big role because they have some boarding, post boarding, pre-flight checks actually. Okay, now coming back
Yes,
to the point, you're talking about emotional reaction experience. We are all humans. Every human will experience emotion. If we don't experience, we are not human. Point number one. Point number two is the way I manage. Again, just a beginner. I manage my emotions. For example, if I miss my flight or the train or traffic on the road, is first of all, it is my destiny. I accept it. Yes, this has to happen to me. I have to face this missing a flight or the train. Okay, then I do a quick, you talk about count up to 10 before you respond. I count up to 30 and try to do a quick, so what? If this flight misses, what is the consequence? I will take 1 step, 2 steps, 3 steps, deep dive in my mentally consequences and see what is that impact that's going to happen on me, my schedules, my business, my relatives, friends, what have you. And then say, oh, that's it. This is not a big thing. Then I try to see, I will be emotional, definitely. I should not say I'm not. How much to manage, how much to increase and decrease your emotional rating based on the real consequence of the event that occurred to you or your experience. Then I will come out with what are the possibilities of solution. See, whenever you leave your home or within the home, you are riding the wave of life. So there is a wave at every instant. How you manipulate, navigate yourself to the wave is what is all about, where the emotional management, emotional intelligence comes into play. That's just wanted to share my experience. This is how I manage.
Thanks to both of you for sharing your experiences, because um, you know, this is how we actually need to deal with our emotions. So when we deal like this, we are obviously going to do better in our lives. Are you on mute? Please unmute yourself.
Yeah,
Okay.
sorry.
Geetanjali,
PP
I'll take
journalists
1 minute
had
at a
some
time.
Yeah,
Yeah,
please.
sure.
Okay, see, like how Geetanjali is sharing her experience on missing the flight. When we had to sign up an agreement with our core banking service provider, Jet Airways did not allow us to take the flight for the reason the flight has not taken off, but the manager was rude, saying we have come late and we could not check in. So we were there 1 hour early, but he said you have come late. There's no point in fighting, and we just took the next flight and reached there, came back. So we're wondering, by losing our mental peace, is it worth for anything? Now we're talking on so many things. If you look at it from our basic education in primary, high school, and college, we have been emphasized on a lot of such things, but we don't pay attention until and unless we come to a stage or when we progress in the age, we talk about all these things. I think these are all some basics which we should not go wrong. Then I think we are good to lead a good life. Thank you for that.
Yeah, rightly put. Actually, the earlier actually come across these things, understand these things, and inculcate, bring it into our lives, the better. Most often it happens is as people grow with their experience and all, they understand after making lots of mistakes, okay, I have to keep my peace of mind and deal with situation. But it's better we teach these things at the earlier stages. That will be better.
Ma'am, is it possible to share the PPT, because you had a lovely concepts well articulated visually, though it all appears to be common sense, but common sense is a short
Yes,
supply.
yes, yes,
Yeah,
ma'am.
sure.
I will
In
share
fact,
the recording as well as the PPT.
Geetanjali, it was you. All right.
Yes.
How are you?
Gitanjali ji also wanted to announce that we are going to have a series of short courses on these things.
Yes.
Gitanjali ji, would you like to announce it?
Yeah, you please go ahead, Preeti. You can announce it. I'll be more than happy to support. Probably, like we can involve other, because they're all co-presidents, and we can make it as a joint course.
Yeah, so we are planning to have a few short courses related to this only. For example, parenting in the new era, building resilience, and I'll just name a few. Yeah. The essence of a fulfilled life, building resilience, parenting in the new era, and self care kit to mental, emotional, and spiritual well being. So these are different short courses that we are going to have, and we'll come up with the details shortly. If everyone agrees, we can have a WhatsApp group wherein we can provide the link to today's session, also the PPT also, and information about the upcoming courses also, so that these are online courses, so that it becomes easy for us also to manage the whole thing.
Yes, I will share with all the participants and the people who have registered the details. So then we can like form a group and announce these things. Yes, PP Jonas, you
Okay.
wanted to ask
Yes,
some. Yeah.
Yes, I wanted to ask about the fact that I would like to be in the sharing arrangement, so that I think this is a very important thing. It's topical these days, and we need to continually go through so that we become alert all the time. And once you share the course arrangement with me, I would like to share it with some friends. First, I'd like to see the details and think of how.
Oh, I think he got disconnected. I think PP Jonas is from Mozambique, I think. Yeah.
Gitanjali, are we going to have a next session in Jamshedpur? I never visited.
Pardon?
We're going to have next session in Jamshedpur.
We can. We can
Why not?
Yeah. We can, definitely. That's a
We
good
can have one in
point.
Jamshedpur, or we can have one in the Bangalore also.
Bangalore.
Oh, lovely.
Prashant, just to give a background, Preeti has studied in Bangalore. She has done her
Bachelor's and masters from there.
Wow, great, great, great. You know, I was driving. I just reached home a couple of minutes back.
Okay. Yeah. I think Jonas. Yes, I think I will message him. Preeti. It's
Yeah, he wanted the details of everything.
Yeah. I will message him because I think his connection is bad because I see him getting yeah, here it is. PP Jonas, you are back. You can ask your question.
I think he's having some connectivity issue. But
Correct.
then it's okay. His question was pretty clear that he wanted the details of the courses that we just mentioned so that he can share it with
Yeah.
others.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So yes,
exactly. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you, PP, for joining the session, and it's really nice because I think it must be very early morning for you, right?
Yeah, it was around 4, very early in the morning before my wake up time. It's about 30 to 6 now. But I'm
But
happy
I
I
hope
joined.
that
At
early
least
morning session today will be helpful for you.
very, very helpful. I think it's reinforced my awareness and the self-analysis and the 5 things, 5, 4, 3, 2 things. Now I'll try to emphasize them a lot more. What I try to do is to have some deep breath sometimes when I'm frustrated about some things, But now I've had other.
Yes. Yeah.
All these other methods apply. Thank you.
Thank you, PP, and thank you all my co-presidents who have joined, and all my club members and others. It's. I'm sure all of us got benefited by Preeti's session, and we will continue this. I'll keep you all updated about our plans because mental health is what our RA president this year is stressing on, and I think whether he stresses or not, I think these are a very important aspects of our life. We have to get hold on it, and what better way than having such enlightening sessions with people who are trained to train us, right? Yeah. Subir, you want to say something?
Yeah. Thank you very much, ma'am. It was a very wonderful session. Gitanjali, thank you, you and all the other presidents who have arranged it. On a lighter note, I will say, now, after thinking through the whole program, I realized that the biggest problem was the boss who didn't control his emotion, and
Yes, true.
so he has to
He
basically
needed
take
emotional
rest.
regulation sessions.
Yes. He has led to all the problems to tell the boss that you better control your emotions. Okay. Thank you very much, ma'am.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye, and have a great weekend.
Bye bye, everybody.
See you all the next. Yeah.
Thank you,
Thank
Gitanjali,
you,
Preeti,
everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Bye-bye.
everyone.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
And thank you, Preeti, for a nice presentation.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.